Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be taking a look at a map called Austrian Racetrack. We have a few different locations we can start at, but the one that makes the most sense to me is starting at the start line. This does not look like the starting line like I imagined, but I triple checked. When we click to start at the start, this is where you go. So let's go ahead and get a car that's more appropriate for this. We're going to go with the race version of the Austria Miramar, and we're going to get it in solar yellow, which should look pretty good on this car, I'm thinking. Yeah, it looks alright. Kind of reminds me of the color scheme you would see on Spoon race cars. The blue would be a little darker and the yellow would be a little less gold. But when I look at it, I still do think of Spoon's race cars because I used to use those all the time in Gran Turismo. And blue plus yellow, I automatically think of that. Anyways, let's go ahead and do some driving here. So this is a big, wide racetrack. And whenever I'm on a track like this, it feels like I'm driving slow, even if I'm not. So as you watch this, you might be wondering, WhyBeAre, why are you driving so slow? I'm not. It's just everything is so big, it makes it feel like I'm driving slow. But I am actually pushing this car pretty hard, getting real close to that wall, starting to even slide a little bit because I was pushing it so hard. But I remained in control. We should be able to get up to almost 100 miles per hour at the end of this straight. That's how fast we're going to be going. So let's see. Can we get 100? Maybe not. Maybe not. No. I don't want to overshoot this corner just because I was trying to get to 100 miles per hour. I know once the boards on the left side disappear, you need to start braking. Otherwise, you will overshoot it. And you'll be in the dirt, and we will end up in the dirt eventually, but we're going to do a clean lap real quickly right here, and then we'll end up in the dirt and stuff. So we brake right there, right where that last light is, and then we get a pretty good speed coming into this corner. Maybe a little bit too fast, but good enough to stay on the road and complete a decent lap. So we're going to go slow through here, and then we're going to have a section where you just have these little blockades you have to drive by. You seen them a little bit earlier, but now there's 3 of them, so you got to swerve in between them. And yes, you can just drive right up on them and wreck your car, but I'm not here to do that. I'm here to try to do some good driving this lap. There we go. Just barely tapping it, which is probably like the perfect route to use. As long as you don't upset the balance of the vehicle, that is making the route as short as possible, so it should be as fast as possible. So last straightaway right here, we got to slow down for the right-hand corner. I slowed down a little too early right there. And then we accelerate to the finish line, and then we do 1 lap in a little under what felt like 2 minutes or so. And now that we've completed 1 clean lap, it's time to wreck it. So we're just going to go straight through the dirt. It's actually a shortcut in a way, and then we're going to slam into the wall. And our tire came off and our door's open, so we can't drive with the tire falling off. So let's go ahead and reset this thing. And now I want to try something dumb. So you know those things that kind of just look like speed bumps sitting in the middle of the racetrack? We're going to see what happens when we hit those at decent speeds, and then maybe even a high rate of speed if it's interesting enough. So these first 2 corners really don't matter too much. I just want to make sure I'm coming out of the second corner with a good amount of speed. So we're going to make this first one nice and slow, and we're going to go way out here so we can bring it in and have a nice exit speed right there. So we'll hopefully hit like 60 miles per hour on that speed bump. We're going to avoid the first one and hit the second one. Popped it into the air a little bit. Can we line it back up on the track without hitting that wall? Yes, we can. No problem. I was using the slow-mo right there a little bit to my advantage, as you saw. So is the car still driving straight after that bump, or did it do any damage to the suspension? Maybe pulling a little bit to the left, but it's hard to know because the road's also curving a little bit. If it is pulling, it's ever so slightly, and it's not a huge concern for me. But we got a few more speed bumps which we could hit in a little bit, so let's make our way to those ones. We're just going to do it the normal way, staying on the track. We're not going to try to like cheat our way through it or anything like that yet. I'm going to go real slow through this one so I can have a good exit speed. And I'm actually going to cut these corners just so I can hit those speed bumps at a higher speed. There we go. So we're going to try to hit all 3 of them in a row and see what it does to the car. So we're probably going to hit the wall in the end, but number 1, nothing at all. Okay, I did not expect that. Number 2, there we go. Popped it up a little bit. Number 3, not much. So really the only one you have to watch out there is number 2, although we are going to go and hit the wall because I kind of predicted that we would be going so fast in the speed bumps and be popped in the air that we wouldn't have the traction to not hit the wall. And somehow we can put a little bit of power down even after that pretty harsh collision, but I don't feel like driving this slow, although I do feel like meeting up with my tire. Where are you going, baby? Come back to me. I love you. Let's become one again. Oh. I just slapped into it and broke my drive shaft. Okay, then. I feel like if we had a faster car with less ground clearance, we could actually pop it into the air. So we're going to try the hill climb version of the SBR4, and we're going to get it in Fern. Just Fern. That's so weird sounding to me. Like, when I think of a color of a car, I usually think of it kind of like adjective color in how you call them. Like, the yellow is solar yellow. But having it just called Fern sounds weird, especially on a car like this. When you have a car that's so fast, it gets the fancy ones like Fern Green, not just Fern. Anyways, I see my targets. Let's go. Charging at it, 80 miles per hour. Whoa, wow, that's that's a little bit different. So the drive shaft actually broke and the main engine broke from that impact. I mean, I knew it'd probably do more damage, but I didn't expect it to do that much. Is that speed bump actually the same height? It did look like the one on the left was a little bit taller, but I figured I was just imagining that because of the angle I was coming into the corner or something. But the only way to know for certain is to hit the other one at about the same speed and see if we fly into the air just as violently. And to get the same angle on it, I'm going to do a little bit of a cheating maneuver right here. We're going to just pop through that corner and then floor it. So we're going to hit that at 80 miles per hour. And it did put it into the air pretty hard, but it didn't destroy everything upon flight like the other one. I'm not sure. The other one might be just a tad taller for some reason. Anyways, I can't drive this thing, so we're going to freshen it up, and then we're going to go do the triples and see if those things will pop me into the air good. These ones should be able to go over 100 miles per hour when we first hit it, so I expect some chaos on these ones. And we do need to brake earlier here than I was mentioning earlier because this car's so much faster. You got to brake and do something like that where you just keep tapping the gas because you're afraid to go full on because you might spin out with this thing. Alright, well, we're going to hit the brakes on the second from last light there instead of the last one. We're going to do the same strategy as last time though, where we just cut through this corner to get as much speed as possible on the bumps. And then I'm going to also kind of try to angle it away from the wall, so we're going to steer hard to the right. No air? No air? And no air. Interesting. Although I'm still going to hit the walls, unfortunately. I think I kind of busted up my steering a little bit. I don't think the right wheel was steering at all. No, it's still not steering. So maybe the ones near the start of the track are actually taller than the ones later on in the track. I didn't see that coming, but that's the only conclusion I can come to after seeing that. I feel like I need to do a little bit of scientific testing here. Just slamming into them isn't really scientific. It's fun, but not scientific. So scientific is this. Drive up to the thing and then compare the height with the front of the car. So looking at this thing, the front bumper is a little bit over the edge, but it does smash right into it right here, and you can't drive anymore, so that bashes up the front hard because it actually grabs the front bumper. Now we're going to try going in the opposite direction right here to make our way to the other three. We're going to see if they're the same or not. I mean, it could have been I was accelerating harder when I hit those ones, so the front of my car was lifted a little bit more. So this time I'm going to make sure when I hit it, we're just kind of coasting into it so my car is as level as possible, just like we did there. We'll go tight cornering, a little bit too tight. That got sketchy because I was bouncing on the corner. Brake, brake, brake. I braked a little too late right here. It's okay though because I don't need to actually go on the inside for that next corner. And then we're going to go ahead and see, are these ones just as tall or not? Slow down before I crash into them. There we go. I didn't want to crash and wreck my car up. I wanted to just make sure I remained in control. So right here. Oh yeah, that is definitely shorter. Huh. Okay then. That explains why some pop you up higher than others then. Yeah, like these ones, they don't do that much. You can go over them without any damage. The other ones, they are able to stop you. That's interesting. So there's one more test we can do. There's a bump that's actually inside of the corner, so you should never actually drive over this thing, but we're going to see what happens. That one pops you in the air, and it wrecks you good because you hit the wall. Don't you hate it when your steering wheel pops through your windshield? I personally have never had that happen, but if I got in a car crash in real life and my steering wheel just disappeared, I would be so confused. Anyways, we also have a pit lane over here, and you can go into any of the pits. We all know my pit lane is the last one, though, so we pop into there, do whatever we need to do, repair my tires, which I busted going into here, and then back on the track to do a lap in reverse, because we've done one for it. Why not do one in reverse? You'll notice there are some areas, actually, before we do the reverse lap like this, where it looks like there might be something over here, but it kind of just dead ends on you. Like you see, it's just, there's nothing really there. I mean, there are a few other things like over here, but I don't really think it's a finished area. You see, it's just kind of like it might be something in the future, but right now it doesn't seem like you're supposed to go there. Anyways, let's go back here and we'll get a more pedestrian car because we have been using race cars this whole time. So we'll go with the Bruckle-Legrand Sport V6. So yeah, it's a sport car because who would take a really regular car to the track, but it's by no means a race car. It is a sport version of a front-wheel drive car. And it's not like a Civic Type R kind of sport version. No, this is more, they put a slightly bigger engine in it kind of sport version with slightly stiffer suspension. That's it. Oh, this is actually kind of difficult to do because it steers so bad. Like every corner just feels like effort. It takes effort for this thing to actually go around a corner because it doesn't want it. It's like, no, I want to go straight. I think I gotta just use the e-brake on these things, like, you know, whip it around like this. Yep. Oh, kind of. I didn't go off the road, but that was awful. So you whip it with the e-brake like that. There you go. And just leave a smoke screen behind you as you go a measly 40 miles per hour through the corner. That's definitely the ideal strategy here. Now, I don't know the brake points going in reverse, so I have no idea when to actually brake here. We're just braking whenever, especially with this car. I'm even less knowledge than I am before, because it's like, well, I don't know when to brake. Just e-brake it and hopefully everything will work out. Like this, e-brake it and it works out. Barely. It barely works out, but it does work. It's gonna take forever to do a lap in reverse with this thing. I feel like I already completed with both the other cars. Alright, slow it down. E-brake it. And then, come on, steer in. This thing does not like going around race courses at all. It's like, no, I'm sport for street. That means you accelerate a little bit harder. That's it. Stop trying to race, mate. I don't care. I'm still trying to race this thing. Go, go, go. Come on. Hey, look at that little hole at the finish line. What's in here? Oh, popped the mirror off. And, oh, we're still good. We're going. We're going to crash, though. Boom. And that will do it. So until next time, this has been WhyBeAre. Here's a quick aerial view of the map, and I'll see ya.